Good evening, everyone. There was no technical issues a second ago. That literally never happened. Don't even worry about it. Hopefully you can hear us. Hopefully you can see us. I'm hosting today, so we're back to how it was a few years ago. And I'm joined by Mr. Mark Sullens. Hello, Mark.
Hello. We're only doing this show because you want to gloat about Emma. The only reason I can guarantee you, if you had a red arrow, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
No, you're completely right. It's been a horrible season. It's been a horrible couple of years. And, you know, when a 5.5 million player scores a hat-trick...
You would drag me out of a sick bed to do this show, wouldn't you, after that hat-trick last night, quite frankly.
There's some comments saying the sound's good, people can see us. Oh, look at this.
There you go. Right. As he's back in control and nothing's gone wrong so far.
Added some little logos to the things. Yeah, it's all happening. How are you, Mark? How are you? Hello, everyone, on this Friday evening.
I guess we'll explain why this is a late tackler, not a full show, first of all. Do you want to do that? Don't blame me.
Well, I wanted it to be a full show, but you were like, you did your classic, as we've done no prep, we haven't got any tables, we haven't had time to put these together, all of this. And
then what did I do?
Yeah, and then you were like, let's make it late tackles. I was like, okay, we'll make it late tackles, then we can get away with being a bit more informal. And then you went and did all the tables anyway, and we could easily have made it a show, a full show. But, you know, we're here. We're informal. Do you know what I'm drinking? I'm drinking some O'Donnell Moonshine.
Wow, that's an elaborate glass. Yeah. Are you drinking it out of that bottle?
No, I have got a separate glass.
Okay. Andy's in the chat. He's in there as that FPL Academy racket that he runs. And no, I'm joking, Andy.
It is a bit of a racket, I've heard.
No, I've appeared on it. It was a very good show he did, actually. It was very good.
People want to see your rank marks. I'm just going to hide. There you go. So we've got good ranks. That's why they're on the screen.
We have. That's why we're on. Andy feels betrayed because obviously we've replaced his image on the late. I basically, whatever you do, just to get Andy off and get your image on, and then I wasn't quite as ruthless. Yeah, this used to be a show that I did with Andy on a Friday night. Hence the late tackle.
Well, it's been so long. You didn't even have this year's colours.
No, exactly. Yeah. So. But we're back for the Yelena's in chat as well. Do you want to go through some of the names that are in chat that are joining us tonight?
That's what you like. Go on, I won't take that away from you. You like reading out the names from the chat.
We've got Steve M, we've got Morosino, we've got Brian, we've got BMac, FPL Bantam, Yelena, Jammer's in there, Robert Duffy, FPL Freddy, FPL Forest, Ewitz, Will, Core Blimey, FPL Glasto, James Clark. I work with James Clark. I hope it's not him because he's one of my bosses, really. The manager, Daniel B, Too Many Phil. Another Hoops. Diraj. Some familiar names joining us.
Good. And some ones I've not seen before. So Friday night captures a kind of a bit of a new crowd, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess it does. And we often find, don't we, the later we go, the more viewers we get because people get to that time of night when they're like, oh, you know what, I don't want to stop watching FPL content. And I know it's 10:30, 11, but we are up against traitors tonight. We are up against Claudia.
That is true. In fact, and I'm very surprised Jenna's even in the chat because she's a big Traitors fan. So fair play to her. She probably got us on mute.
I'm getting an echo, and I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting an echo, and I think it's because of Video Ninja. I've got to mute that somewhere.
Yeah, you can mute. I don't know. If you've got the stream open.
Yeah.
Probably getting an echo from that then.
No, I haven't got the stream open. No, I haven't. No,
yeah, your mic is breaking up a little bit. That's what Louis says in the chat as well. Maybe it's just because I think maybe you're kind of...
No, I don't think so. Mark a bit underwater. I don't know what to say about that. That's a bit strange. No, not like I can do, and I'm going to have to put up an echo all night because I don't know what that is.
It must be. So this wasn't. This is only happening just as we've gone live.
Yeah.
You must have the stream open.
No, I haven't. I closed it. No, it's because I'm hearing. I'm pretty sure it's Video Ninja. Oh, anyway, I'll have to put up with it, won't I?
No, it's fine. But everyone's saying bring out the robot. Can you do it if you're not hosting? You can. Yeah, you can because you did it when I was hosting. Right?
Yeah, I can do it.
It's so good.
I do have a smaller robot. Bear with me.
Wow. Turn off the stream.
It's all going wrong. Have to turn it off. Start again. Oh, the echo's really annoying me. But audio.
Your mic sounds good now, though. Whatever you've done there's fixed it.
I didn't change anything.
You sound much better.
I've just opened the audio panel on Video Ninja. That's all I've done. So I'll leave that open anyway.
Everyone's saying fixed now. I was turning on the robot. Actually, did fix it. Excellent stuff. Right, we have actually got quite a lot to talk about. But get your comments in, or your questions, or whatever. We will have this as a bit of a. You might have noticed by now. It's a bit of a laid back stream. So let us know what you want us to talk about. It's quite an exciting week, I think, going into game week 22. Given that we've got the double game week coming up. Given that we've got teams like Newcastle and Forest playing really well. Some of us still don't own enough of their players. I think you've loaded up on Newcastle, but only had 2 and no Forest. So we've both, you've already got someone in, which no surprise of guessing who.
I've turned to Chris Wood. I hesitate to bring up Chris Wood because you might go on a 45-minute tirade about erections. So I don't really want to.
Oh my God.
Well, that's what you seem to do with Sam on the Q&A.
Mark, you can't say the word erection.
I can.
No one wants to hear the godfather of FPL say erection.
9, I can say what I like. But that's what the innuendo's about. Let's not be sheepish about it.
Can you say it in the robot voice?
No, I don't know what to say that. But yeah, listening to you and Sam, it was like that was lunchtime, and it was absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, it was. It was absolute filth. The whole thing. It was terrible.
The whole thing was.
Yeah, they've kind of been going that way, the Q&As with Sam, for a while. So it's probably not so
okay.
FPL Forest unhinged tonight, Mark.
I have brought in Chris Wood, yes, because Southampton on Sunday. I'm going to the game, and it's getting beyond the joke now, isn't it? I can't be there on Sunday, obviously cheering Forest, and then when Chris Wood scores again, kind of feeling a bit like, oh, fantastic, Forest have scored, but yeah.
But the talisman of the club, I don't even have in my team. I haven't owned for his 13 goals, and his 2 or 3 assists.
Yeah. I needed to get him in. I may not. He may not stick around too long. Because I fancy getting Kuna back. I really do.
Yeah, it'd be interesting when we talk about teams, because I'm thinking of doing the same. A kind of a short term bit of wood, and then move on for something a bit more long term. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bit of a...
Yes. I'm not going to be drawn into a discussion about short term wood.
You sent that video, didn't you? Of what's
Tom?
Tom, yeah, doing the brilliant,
very good.
The content creator Woods.
Yeah, I particularly like the bit where he went. Well, I've done the thumbnail now with a face like.
Yeah. Speaking of Wood, Mark.
Yep.
Sponsor for this episode.
Very good link.
Thank you. Manscaped. I think I've done that before, so it's a bit of a...
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I think it might be a bit of a
This
cheat.
This is why we ship so many Manscaped packs for them, isn't it? That's why we're up there amongst their top contributors.
You know what? It's great. We both love the Manscaped sponsors. Obviously, we both when we first started doing these streams, we said that was the end goal to be sponsored by Manscaped, and they've just renewed again. Like it runs up to January, and they've said clearly, and we don't have any clue of how many. If you've bought a Manscaped product, thank you. It's amazing. Hopefully, you're getting great use of it. We have no idea how many. we've sold.
We don't get any of the commission from the sales. Though,
but it must be, it must be like some, because otherwise they wouldn't renew.
Our audience must be hair suited in the pubic area. Is all I can say.
Well, they've just brought out a new ball trimmer. Basically, and they basically when we re-sign these new contracts, they send this whole list of like new assets that we can use. And Manscaped, Johnny, the amount of products they sell now from when we first started it is enormous. They do beard trimmers now. They do like
largely down to us and the sales. They've been able to expand their range.
We've built that company up from a small
from a small razor to what they are now. Yeah.
You can get literally beard trimmers. They do like aftershaves now. They do like squeegee things in the shower. But what I thought was the coolest one from the assets we got was, look at this white hot ball trimmer.
Good.
How cool is that? White and gold. Yeah. So if you're in the market for a new ball trimmer, I genuinely think this is the best looking.
Looks quality, that
ball trimmer out there. You can use our code. Go to manscaped.com or manscaped.co.uk. Use the code BlackBox at checkout. You get 20% off anything on the site. Free shipping. You support the stream, and hopefully, when the contract renews again, they'll be impressed with the amount of white hot lawnmowers we've sold and sign up again.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
Love it. Love their products and love their support for the show, which is great to see.
Shall we talk about Game Week 21?
Oh God, we've got a super chat in? Can't we just spend the rest of the show on that? Because we can't flag up the super chat, so we've got to hit them as they come in.
No, we can pin them.
Oh, do we?
We can pin them. Don't worry, we can deal with that later. Let's talk about your Game Week first.
Well, it's all right. It's not disgraceful.
Good,
you move the arrow. Move the arrow over. Shoddy, look. You've got the arrow into my... That's it. Yes, okay. Green arrow. I took it. Up 50k. So, Flecken in goal. Usual 3 points. That's all right. I think he's still outscored Raya since I got him in.
It's a joke. I'm so angry.
Trent 2 points at Forest, but what did you expect, really? You know, he was never going to get too much out of that game. Gabriel 1, all clean sheet. Munoz clean sheet, so 6 each for those two. Luis Diaz has been a disaster again. It's funny, isn't it? Because my season almost got ruined when I wildcarded for Luis Diaz, and now I've got Luis Diaz back in for Louis Diaz.
Louis Diaz.
Luis Diaz. And now I've got him back in, and he's been a disaster.
He's been awful, isn't he, for you? He really has.
He has played badly in both games, got subbed in both games. At least this time he got to 60 minutes, but he got a booking, didn't he?
Yeah.
So just the 1 point for Diaz, and he's maybe a problem now. Gordon 9, very consistent. So
he's been a great signing from you.
Mbumo to Gordon did work out for me, even though Mbumo's been doing well. Salah 2, Palmer 10, Delap just the 1 point. Disappointed with that. I thought Ipswich should do more against you, but they were very withdrawn. I thought didn't create much, and then the 32 points. Was never going to get him. Stuck to my guns on Isaac, as did you. I always thought Eddie Howe was playing mind games for that. I didn't think there was a big problem, and he looked as fit as a fiddle, didn't he? So straight in as the captain, that paid off. Then Rodgers on my bench 6, Timber 2, and Jesus is injured. So Jesus for Wood was the transfer that I've made this week, of course. Mate, that was the other thing. I had to get rid of Jesus, and the money. I needed money in the bank to go Flecken to Pickford soon, and so the only move I could make that made sense was Wood. So I had no choice to defend that position.
Can you do me a favour? Can you go just over to wherever your mic is coming through? I think it's probably the screen share one. You know, the Video Ninja screen share. Yeah. Can you just make sure it's set to your Shure mic, like the audio source? So if you click the settings, I think it might be coming out your headset, which is where the issues are.
It's not, but I can change. It's definitely coming out the microphone in the main studio.
So under audio sources, it says.
Yeah, I mean, I can change it to the other one. Hold on. Let me change it to that. All right, how's that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that any better? Because that's changed it to a second source.
I think so. Yeah. Let me know in the chat. Sounds better to me.
Still got the echo. Yeah.
I don't know why you're getting the echo. There shouldn't be any.
Never mind. Yeah. So, yeah, good week. A Green Arrow. I'm happy with that. Could have been better. Obviously, Diaz, I expected. Liverpool didn't score more than one goal, but I hope that if they did score, Diaz would be involved. But yeah, he was pretty poor at Forest. Not that Gakpo was great. Not that Salah was great, really, to be honest. But they played well as a team. It just wasn't really a standout performer, was there, for them?
Yep. Rodgers on the bench. Any regrets?
No, not really. I think I was always. I mean, who would I drop there? Delap against Brighton, I really fancied in the home game, and he'd been returning well recently.
I was shocked with your sass about Brighton and Ipswich. Comfortable win.
It was. I mean, they really faded second half. I think they did really well in the first half, and I was really encouraged going in at half time. I thought they'd come out second half and cause you more problems, but you just took control of the game, didn't you? João Pedro was bloody lucky again. That's a red card, isn't it? It's another one.
I don't think it was a red card.
He'd have only just come back from the first ban he should have got for the elbow in the previous game. And then he does that. Oh, it was an awful challenge. He almost could see the ball was gone when he jumped.
He's got a bit of nastiness about him, hasn't he? Yeah. Like he has. We've seen it a couple of times this season. It's not the first time I've seen it with him. He's got I think particularly when things aren't really going our way, he's got that kind of side to him. I still think he was bloody lucky not to get sent off for that elbow. I think it was a yellow card, the one last night, though.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, they said that it wasn't except what was it, violent conduct, but he was out of control and he was in midair. I mean, if you go midair and lead with your feet, it's a red card. So what's the difference if you go in midair and you lead with your shoulder? It was really bad. Really bad.
I did find it funny at one point. It was 0-0 and there was 2 bookings and it was Pedro and Delap.
Yeah, I mean Delap always gets booked, but he's not as nasty as that. He'll leave a cheeky foot in and stuff like that. But he's a bit of a shithouse, really. But Pedro's quite nasty. Yeah. Anyway, red card could be coming for him because he's overdue one now, I think.
Yeah. We'll talk about your team a bit later.
Your week. Go on.
40 points between us now. Well, I got 93. I mean, it was all just. I mean, we both. I think we both got the captaincy right. Obviously, with Isak. I think when Palmer scored the 10, probably would have taken that at that point. But Isak really, really came in, and I think the only real people that got punished were the ones who ended up with Salah or stuck with Salah captain. It seemed like the week to go against him, didn't it?
I didn't get that. Yeah. I didn't get the Salah captaincy. I mean, you knew what you were going to get in that game. Forest were going to low block, and unless you really I mean, I know I went in with Diaz and Salah, but I thought maximum a couple of goals, and it probably would only be one. So I was never. I don't know. I didn't think it was a game for Salah, really.
No, nor did I. And yeah, it was nice that in a week where we felt there was other options to go against. I mean, even if you Haaland, for example, getting the brace and Isak and Palmer, there was lots of different ways you could go. I had Raya in goal, Trent, Gabriel, all the premium assets, and you can include Gvardiol in that, all blanking. And then you look at all the cheap options. Robinson on my bench with 7, Hall, Munoz, all of the 4-5s, doing well. Makes you think Trent and Gabriel, that takes up 2 of your 3 defensive spots. And so you're only really picking one of the cheaper ones, and they're the ones that are flying. Salah with the 2, and then elsewhere it was, by far my best game week of the season. Palmer with 10, Sarr with 6, Amad Diallo with a 10-minute hat-trick right at the end of the game when I'd given up all hope. Rodgers with the assist, Isak captain, and Vissa, who's done quite well for me in the 2 weeks that I've had him in. And I think the best thing about this all was I benched Solanke for his own goal. Of all the things that happened in the team, I think that one was the best bit.
Extreme variance for the Diallo hat-trick, I think. First one was a bobble that went back to him off Carl Walker-Peters. Second one, terrible defensive error. So you can count yourself incredibly fortunate there.
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't even take penalties. What are you thinking?
All that talk last week about penalty takers, and it was, I mean, I did have Ahmad as my captain for a bit. I then listened to Hal's conference, and I just thought, there's no way, Isak's not going to play, and he did. And I think it was good for us in a way, because I think that did put quite a few people off him, and they went with Palmer. Yeah, I know it was only 6 points, but it was a good way. And to have 3-5 million mids in my team, and for them all to get something this week, it was quite a memorable game week. So
still a fair distance away from me, though. I'm not too
40
worried.
Points.
Yeah, that's quite a distance.
40 points. You've got an extra chip, but your team is in a bit of a state. So
a bit of a state. Why? Why do you say that?
Just don't really like it.
Well, I've got 3. It's only because of Diaz, but you need
Flecken,
the 3.
Diaz.
Flecken's going to go. Yeah, Flecken to Pickford will happen. Not next week. Week after.
2
probably.
Arsenal defenders in there.
Yeah, you don't want the best defence in the league, do you? No.
Well, they're not, are they? They're not.
It's interesting.
I think it's a problem I think Trent, Gabriel, and Timber's a bit of a problem for you, isn't it?
Oh, I wouldn't say it's a problem, because there's not anything I want to do big time in terms of the double game week. I mean, I want to get Pickford for Fleckham, so I've got the money to do that. After that, I don't know if I want to get a second Everton. I mean, Timber to Mikalenko is an option for me. But I think Hall's fixture in 24 is pretty good. I think they're at home to, let me just guess. They're at home to Fulham. Newcastle defended very strongly, very strong defence. I think I'll play Hall if I don't get Mikalenko. So, I don't know. I'm going to change my mic settings again, because the echo is really bad and I can't tolerate it much longer. I've got a feeling on how to fix it, but let me...
I know what's happening. If you know where you've got the screen share, mute the Oh no! If you mute the site, you won't be able to hear me.
Yeah. Just bear with me a moment. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound better.
All right. No, I'm still getting it. I'm just gonna have to tolerate it. It goes in and out. I don't know what's going on? It's something to do with Video Ninja. I don't normally have it. It's gone now. It'll come back again in a bit.
Is it just when I talk?
No, it's me. I can hear myself. I can't hear you twice. I can hear myself.
You can hear yourself twice.
Anyway, don't matter.
That's so weird. And let me hang on. Let me just try and. What if I?
We won't be doing a podcast out of this, by the way, so there's no need to edit this out.
What if I do? Oh, no, mine's already muted. No, sorry, I don't know. It's not. I can't. I don't know what's causing it.
No,
it's weird.
it's gone low again now. It just keeps coming in and out. So
yeah, weird.
Where was I? Yeah, I don't have any. I don't think I have any major problems. I've got a good bench. Once I've got Flecken out, I don't think I've got any major problems. So yeah, I'm fine. I don't know why you say my team's. We'll get to our teams at the end. I'd like to know why you think my team's in a state.
Flecken, Diaz, Delap.
Yeah, but Diaz is playing 2 matches in game week. Who doesn't want 3 Liverpool? I mean, I know there's going to be rotation. He'll only get a game and a half, but still, it's all right.
I don't know. I think you've got problems, and I intend to capitalise.
I don't see where the problems are, really. But there you go. I mean, Delap's got Southampton in game week 24, and I might not even be able to play him. So
Delap.
He's playing Southampton. Just pick players against Southampton.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's very true. We've got some tables to look at. Should we have a look at some? I mean, you talk about Arsenal being the top defensive side, which statistically they are. Statistically they are, but the clean sheets haven't been enough for the double up that we've both got.
No, not of late. No. But bring the ticker up. Bring the long ticker up. Let's have a look at the fixtures. Okay, look at that run after City. Right, Leicester, West Ham, Forest, Man United, Chelsea, Fulham, Everton, Brentford, Ipswich.
Well, Forest, United, Chelsea, not easy.
No, but the 2 before and the 4 after are pretty strong. I just think that if I get Timber out to get Mikalenko, I'm going to regret that. I've just got a feeling, and I know low. Well, I don't. I mean,
obviously you are. When you say that sentence, Timber out for Mikalenko.
I mean, that's what people will do, though. People will get Mikalenko in. I get it for the Leicester fixture, but Leicester can score at Goodison Park. I mean, Everton are not great. I mean, let's see what kind of bounce they get under Moyes. But Leicester are scoring goals. They're shipping a lot of goals, but they can score. They were unfortunate, I thought, the other night against Palace. I think that we were lucky to get the Munoz clean sheet because Leicester had a lot of chances.
There's no way I haven't got him.
Oh, have you not? Well, okay, Munoz owners, I say we. So I don't know about getting with the Arsenal defence. I know a lot of people will downgrade and go about to just Gabriel, and I just wonder whether just keeping Timber might pay off because of that.
I think Raya's the problem, isn't he? Because he's not making the saves. They're conceding the odd annoying goal. It's not like it was at the start of the season when they kept getting clean sheets. He kept making just enough saves, kept being really high in the bonus. It was 8s and 9s points all round. He's been outscored by Flecken. I mean, I would have been better on the game week 6 wildcard just to have kept bloody Henderson.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's really frustrating. So, yeah, I mean, they are second on the long ticker, like you say, but I don't know. The thing is, Sells seems obvious, doesn't he? But then from 25, I mean, it's Fulham, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City. I don't love that run for him.
We're not keeping a clean sheet in Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City.
No,
I think we can at Fulham. After that is pretty good. The thing is that we're at home to Arsenal, Man City. We could easily beat one of those 1-0. There's no reason, right? We're going to win against Arsenal or Man City. 1-0 is probably the most likely outcome.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to back against Forest for clean sheets in any game the way we play because that's how we play. We play really defensively, don't we?
Yeah. You must be loving it. It must be a bit of a surreal.
It is
thing, right?
It is because halfway over the season now, and I look at these next 4: Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham. Don't fear any of those teams. If we can win, if we can stay unbeaten in that 4, and win a couple of them, then I think we're going to get Champions League. But
Yeah.
because I think the teams that are around, apart from Newcastle away, all the bigger teams have got to come to the City Ground because we played them all away from home. So we've got a very good opportunity to get it. I mean, if we get a big injury, though, if we get Gibbs White or Wood injury, we're out of it.
Yeah.
So
or one of the centre backs.
Well, Morato's pretty good. I think we could probably absorb one injury to one of the centre backs, but it would hurt us.
He hasn't played much though, has he, Morato?
He's come on in most games. He's kind of like the shore it up. Yeah, he's very good. And we've got Bolly as well. Bolly's not bad. He's been very good.
Bottom of the championship 4 years ago, says FPL.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah. So I do think these next 4 will be a barometer for where we are. If we go and win a couple and stay unbeaten, then I think we'll make it. Yeah.
Yep. There's a few people. Well, everyone's talking about Wood now. We've got people talking. FPL Have a Beers in the chat. Good to see you. Anyone captaining Wood? Any kind of temptation?
Put the armband on Wood. I don't know.
Captain Woody?
I don't think so. I mean, he's not often he gets double figures. And I've just bought him, which makes me think I'm probably going to break him and he'll blank now because he's scored in the last 3, isn't he? It's hard to believe.
Not good to break Wood.
No, it's hard to believe that we don't win that game, really, in the form we're in. Southampton played very well at Old Trafford, but they still ended up capitulating and losing 3-1. We're a better side than Man United at the moment, so I'd expect us to beat them. And we should score more than 1 goal. So it's an option, definitely an option.
But I think you have to get the tissues out, won't you, if he scores?
Where are you going with that?
Well, just be so emotional.
Oh, okay. No, not at all. It's so because it's routine. I'm used to it. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't score. Honestly, we will be though, wouldn't we? I mean, I think anyone who's bought Chris Wood for this weekend, if he doesn't score against Southampton, we'd be disappointed because this is the fixture we got him for, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only really thinking of bringing him in because I can't handle the thought of him getting a hat trick. I just can't. You know, if he hits a brace or a hat trick, it's gonna annoy me so much.
I don't think he will. I mean, Taiwo will get 20 minutes in this game. I think if we're winning 2-0, he'll be off, Chris Wood. So I think that's the factor, right? If we look like we're winning the game comfortably with 20 minutes to go, Chris Wood will probably get 20 minutes.
Do you think there's going to be change elsewhere? Because I was thinking about bringing Neco Williams in, but then I thought, realistically, this is a Moreno game, isn't it? Like they've just played a couple of days ago. They can give Williams a bit of a break. Moreno can come in.
He might change it round. Yeah. I mean the gap is what it was 4 days, so it's not like we played Wednesday to Saturday. And it's Sunday, so it's actually 5 days, isn't it? So he doesn't have to rest anyone. I think the most likely position to change. Well, there's 2 positions that are likely to change: Williams to Moreno and Yates to Dominguez. But apart from that, I don't think it'll change anything.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't looked at the stats in a while. I mean, over the season, in terms of attack, Forest are
low down.
Where are you? Pretty low. 15th over the season.
And last 6, I don't think it's too much.
Has it improved over the last 6?
Yeah,
a little bit, up to 11th.
Yeah, we don't score a lot of goals.
His underlying data still isn't amazing, is it? I mean, we can come straight over to the forwards now. I mean, over the season, Wood is... Where is he?
30th, 0.33.
30th out of forwards. Oh my god!
And he's not much better over the last 6.
And over the last 6, he's 30. He's consistent. He's 30th again. Bloody hell, that is.
No, that's the season. That's the wrong table. That's the season one. Can you get the last 6 forwards in? I must have put that table in twice.
Oh no, that's compare forwards. That's completely the wrong one.
No, what you'll need to do is drag the right graphic in.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the wrong one. I'm looking at compare. Hang on, bear with us. It's
all happening live. We
got so many bloody tables in there. It is forwards. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. So where is he there? He's 22nd. 0.23.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's still,
So
yeah.
his
So
extra
it's
on
dropped.
penalty was actually lower.
Yeah, it was 0.33, right? Now it's 0.23.
Yeah. He's getting very few shots per game, 1.74 on average.
That is ridiculous.
But he's converting 30% of his shots into goals.
It's got to be one of the biggest overperformances you've ever seen.
He did it last season, though. That was his conversions last season. So he just is very, very good.
But like 0.2 isn't great, like underlying stats for a defender. Like we were talking about Trent, who was like 0.25, and we were like, this isn't the Trent of old. Trent of old was like 0.4, 0.5. Like, this is poor stats.
Bring up the wing backs, and you'll see. Bring up defenders last 6, and Munoz is probably higher. I think he is. Yeah, 0.27.
0.27. Yeah.
Lewis Hall's higher. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So for me, you don't captain Wood. I think he's a reliable goal scorer in this game. You've got to say, because I think Forest will score more than one goal, and if you score more than one goal, Wood should get one of them. I would have thought. So,
well, I mean, my decision is I've had Solanke. I've got a real thing with Solanke this season. You came off the train a little while ago. I've stayed on it. It's been a real roller coaster. We've got those.
it was like when two friends get on a train and one of them jumps off without telling the other.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Yeah, just like see you later.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. There's me and Solanke we're like stuck on like a long trip to like Liverpool or something, and there's no opportunity to go. But I mean, along that time, we had a laugh, we had a few beers. He got 9 points against Newcastle. We got 9 points against Liverpool.
Good company, was he?
He was good in those games, and then he blanked in games where I really thought he was gonna, to deliver. But I mean, my decision this week is: do I sell Solanke for Wood? And I feel like I've ridden out all of these weird fixtures with him, and now I'm looking at the fixtures for. If we come back to the ticker, I'm looking at Solanke and thinking, actually, the fixtures are pretty good.
Yeah. Well, review is telling me to buy Solanke.
Yeah. So, Everton, Leicester, Brentford, Man United, Ipswich. It's a good run.
I don't think you sell Solanke. I think that's, like Gianni sold Foden and moved to Bruno. Yeah, that's what you'd be doing in there. That's the equivalent.
Yeah, but Solanke is just not great, like FPL wise, is he? And Spurs are just not great, and Chris Wood is everything.
If Chris Wood could, Chris Wood would.
Would. Very good.
Did you watch that?
What?
Have you watched that tune the guy did? Not seen it on YouTube.
No, it was a song about Chris Wood.
Yeah,
I thought you were just doing what's his name?
No. No, there's a fantastic tune the guy's done. He does a lot of these football dance tracks, and he's done one. Chris Wood would, if Chris Wood could. Yeah. Chris Wood would, if Chris Wood could. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's very good.
Sounds. I mean, you've really not sold that to anyone.
It's fantastic. Yeah, look it up. Very good. I wouldn't do it myself.
I can't watch him score a brace though. I just can't.
But I'm heavily analytics now. So
you are, yeah. You're all about that. I mean, if FPL Review is telling you to buy, I mean, FPL Review. There's a comment earlier in the chat. FPL Review is really big on Odegaard and Calvert-Lewin at the moment. Well, it's going to be really interesting to see which managers go for Calvert-Lewin, because that is, if you're going for Calvert-Lewin, that's a review pick.
Well, all the models, right? My team will have Calvert-Lewin higher because of the 2 games, but he blanked in 15 consecutive games now. He has 15 games about a goal, isn't it?
He's like, if you're picking Calvert-Lewin, you're not watching football.
Yeah, but you're not basing it on that. You're basing it on he's a striker playing for a team of 2 games. He takes penalties. That's what you're based on. And just he will get chances, but the trouble is he's not. He's not. What's his conversion rate? Go to forwards.
It's 0.
Go to forward season.
It's 0.
Well, yeah, but let's have a look at his accuracy. Let's look at how many shots he's actually getting on target.
Oh, he's just.
Is this the season? Right.
This is the season, yeah.
20% accuracy. That's really bad. I mean, that's the lowest in the table, isn't it? It is the lowest in the table.
I'm not even convinced he's going to start both in the double. Anyway, because Moyes played him straight away, and he missed an absolute sitter in the last second.
He hasn't got Broja, and he hasn't got Beto, has he? They're both out.
Beto's all right.
Is he fit? I thought he was injured. I think he's injured.
Is he? Okay, they've literally only got. Well, then I guess he has to play, doesn't he?
20% accuracy. So 1 in 5.
Beto's not flagged.
Okay. Well,
he played 7 minutes in the last game.
Right. Moyes loves Calvert-Lewin.
I just think if you're picking Calvert-Lewin, you need help.
It'll be just like it, though, wouldn't he? To go into the double game week, blanking all the way through, and then somehow against Leicester get a couple of goals.
You get a red card.
You think that's more likely?
I would rather have. I mean, there was Andy in the group chat we're in earlier saying, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking about Calvert-Lewin, or I might go for Ndai." I was like, "What?"
Well, the thing is, if you're, I mean, I think Andy's got Raul as well. Like, if you look at the fixtures in 24 for the likes of Raul and Pedro, I had a look at it earlier. They got bad games, so you're going to want to sub them out anyway. Yeah, let's look at 24 when the double hits. Right, Fulham got Newcastle away. You're not going to play Raul there, are you? And they're a very strong defence. Brighton have got Forest away, the strongest defence at the moment, probably. So that's what I mean. If you own one of those two, of course you're going to go Calvert-Lewin. Why wouldn't you?
Because there's better forwards than Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, but if you've got like 3 or 4 free transfers, you can get him in and get him out again. That's what you do, don't you? You're not going to hold him. No, I give you that. You're not going to take him into game week 25, probably.
I suppose. I mean, you look at 24, and there isn't. I mean, there's obviously Isak with Fulham. Everyone's got him anyway. I mean, we're talking about Chris Wood. Chris Wood's got Brighton at home. I mean, that's not a bad fixture.
No, I'll keep him for that.
You'll keep him for that. I mean, Vissa's got Spurs at home. That's a good game for him. I mean, Jackson's a lot of people still with Jackson. He's got West Ham at home.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not saying you. So if you got those players, you probably don't get.
I think if you've got Pedro or Jimenez.
Yeah, well, a lot of people haven't they? Yeah, certainly. Analytics managers have got at least one of those two. I would have said, because again, they're on pens and they're cheap and So I imagine that's what a lot of those managers will do. They'll swap out to DCL. I mean, do you not think Calvert-Lewin's a better move than going Mikalenko? I think it is.
I don't want either of them.
Oh. So if someone said to you, "I'll give you an extra free transfer," you wouldn't get Mikalenko or Calvert-Lewin in, knowing you can get rid of them in 25 with the free transfer. No,
no, I don't think so. I mean,
suboptimal, I'm afraid.
Well, I think a lot of people would say that. I mean, Arsenal got Man City. I guess you could bench Gabriel. I mean, you could go Trent, Canate, and like Hall at home to Fulham. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think Hall at home. I mean, this is it. This is what puts me off going Mikalenko. I think if I
Pickford's all right. I can sort of get behind Pickford because of the save points.
You might have to get behind Pickford to keep it clean sheet, to be honest.
Yeah, a few of us might.
You any good?
Load up the line. I don't know. I think it is like lucky that there are teams with not the. I think Arsenal, Man City playing each other. Obviously, Spurs, Brentford, Man United, Palace. Yeah, these are teams where you might have some players in them, and I mean Bournemouth, Liverpool, for example. Like if you've got Semenyo or Kirkes, that might drive you towards taking a bit of a punt on these guys. If Bournemouth had like, I don't know, Ipswich at home and people are benching Kirkes for Mikalenko, I'd be like, come on, what are you doing? But I guess because they've got the tougher game, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Everton aren't going to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. I just cannot see that. Liverpool will score. I mean, I've just seen them play so well against Forest in that second half. We were having to do everything, stretch every sinew not to concede again. So Everton just aren't as good defensively as we are. They're good, but I don't think they're going to be able to stand up to Liverpool because they're just too good, I think. Leicester at home, though, they could keep a clean sheet, but I wouldn't bank on it. I think I'd rather have Calvert-Lewin than Mikalenko, I think. But I'm putting it this way, I'm not scared not having Calvert-Lewin.
I think Moyes has got to try and win the fans over. And the only way he can win the fans over, surely...
He's not playing Calvert-Lewin.
Well, is by playing a more kind of expansive...
Yeah, exactly. There you
brand
go,
of football. So, but that kind of... Oh, kind of. There we go. That guy's in the chat's going to be telling me. That ruins Pickford and Mikalenko in a way, doesn't it? Because you think they're going to be a bit more attacking. So that pushes you towards the attackers. And the only attacker you're going to get is Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah. Or Ndai. You could go Ndai, but it's the pens, isn't it? Right? They get a lucky pen and suddenly Calvert-Lewin's on 9 points. So...
I mean, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I reckon we're both going to end up with Pickford, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, I need a new keeper anyway. I mean, even if Everton go gangbusters and attack like crazy, he's still going to be better than Flecken, I reckon. So he makes saves. He's as good a shot stopper as Flecken, and arguably better. And don't think Everton will be as open as Brentford are, even if Moyes does go a bit. I mean, what's a Moyes attacking team look like? It's still not very
No,
attacking. Is
that's very true. I'm going off the Hassman.
Are you? What,
Yeah.
playing it in 24?
Well, it turns out that 1.5 million is actually quite a lot of money to like just
Go
have,
figure. Yeah.
just have in your bank. And I had it, and then I've made a move, and I've spent some of the money that I had saved for the Asman chip, and now I'm looking at making other transfers to like free up some more money. And I'm thinking, this is a lot of hassle just to use it on slot with. I mean, Bournemouth. I mean, obviously, I expect them to do Bournemouth, Everton, Wolves. You expect them to get, well, two wins and a draw. I mean, you'd be quite surprised if they lost any of those, if they lost any of those games, right?
They won't. No.
Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely not a bad time to use it, but yeah, I don't know. I want to see them over the next two games because I haven't really been too impressed with them over the last couple of games. They were good against you towards the end of the game.
Well.
Man United, they probably should have won that game, but didn't. Maybe it is. I mean, Van Dijk was kind of laughing it off, wasn't he, when they called it a blip with two draws? But
not a blip. They'll be fine. They'll put 2 or 3 past Brentford. Forest, FPL Forest is saying Saliba's out tomorrow. Don't know where he's getting that from. ITK.
Interesting.
Home to Villa. I still think they'll keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think they'll be okay there.
Who comes in for Saliba then?
Kirill, I suppose, or unless Timber can move over, can't he?
Yeah. They'll concede some stupid like goal though, like they always do, and it's going to be Rodgers because we're all probably benching Rodgers this week.
I don't know what they will do. They could put Partey to right back, move Timber to centre back. They've done that in Europe, haven't they? Or did they do it in the Carabao Cup? I think they did it in Europe.
Has Timber played at centre back for Arsenal?
He has in Europe. Yeah.
Okay.
Do they need the height? Probably not. Well, play Watkins, weren't they? But Gabriel will handle that. Don't know. It's interesting. I wonder what Saliba's got wrong. Maybe it's just illness. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying for me because it doesn't affect me playing Gabriel because of the set piece threat, and Villa from set pieces is not good. Yeah, I mean, I could move Raya out early, but I'm not going to be beginning Pickford at home to Spurs. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll probably start. Yeah, that's not great news. That's not great news, though.
Jaden is saying, what about David Moyes for Assman?
Oh, he's done the ass and the A and the goal for the things. We were talking about that, weren't we, the other day, about how when people post assists and they put the A with disgusting.
Gives you the ick, doesn't it?
It does, big time.
What do you think of Moyes though? Can he what you got? You got Leicester at home, Liverpool at home, Palace away. It's not bad.
It's not...
United at home. That's all right. 3 home games. I don't know.
They'd be lucky to get a win in those 4 games.
Well, they'll beat Leicester.
Will they?
Should do. There's no table bonus there. That's the thing, isn't it? There's no table bonus in any of these games other than Liverpool at home. They're not going to beat Liverpool.
I think they'll do well to beat Leicester. I think that's going to be a tight game. And yeah, there's no bonus for it. So
they won't win at Palace. They could beat United, but there's not going to be table bonus for that. I wouldn't have thought.
I think it's. I honestly think playing your assistant manager chip on David Moyes in Gameweek 24 is the worst use of that chip you can do this season.
Okay,
there you go. That's what I think.
I do like playing it later. Obviously, I've given my reasons for that. I just think like the prices have been set now. When later there could be a lot more value in it, and I think like Potter's West Ham or something like that will happen. They'll be worth getting involved in.
Yeah, I think with Man U and Spurs so low as well, that's another reason why I'm just thinking, Spurs, United, Crystal Palace, West Ham with the new manager. Yeah, like you say, like these could start climbing. And
I mean, what if Forest get an injury? What if we do get a Murillo or Malek injury? Then suddenly we become targetable with the Assman, don't we?
Please call it assistant manager. It's
managership. But
you call it Assman more than I do.
No, I don't. You put this seed in my head. Now I can't. Now everybody's calling it that. We were the first bit of content to talk about the assistant managership. We went out that evening, didn't we?
It's because we got the call that it was coming in.
No, we didn't.
I wish.
And and then you called it
Oh,
that.
look at this! Look at
And
this!
then ever since then, everyone's called it that.
Look at that!
Yeah,
That
don't.
is
Oh,
that
that's the
is
worst, isn't it?
that is
The worst. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when the players have A's and O's in their name and then they get replaced for the A's and the goals.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is wrong
And
with people?
their owners are so excited, yet not too excited, where they can still find the time to do that. And,
There is one in particular, isn't there? One content creator. I won't name him, but he is very bad at.
Well, there's more than one.
There is more than one, but there's one in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
We're the joy police, aren't we?
We are the joy police. Our group chat is just filled with negativity. Just why is everyone having fun? Let's answer the super chat from BMac earlier. Is this one of the best FPL seasons in memory? My squad has been great, but it's been a shambles. But it's very open and cutthroat, week by week. Wrong guy. You're red. I love that super chat. Thank you, BMac. That's love the capital letters. And
he's right. He's very right, isn't he? I still think, we're both doing all right now. But even when we were struggling, I was enjoying it. Even when we were 2 million or whatever it was, I was like, thinking,
were you?
I think I was 2 million at one point. Yeah.
Well, were you enjoying it at 2 million?
Yeah, I was enjoying it. I was thinking, well, yeah, I'm 2 million, but I think I can make the ground up because it feels very fast and loose this season. It doesn't feel like there's a solution there that you have to go with that. I mean, Ahmed's just showed that again. I mean, I love that. Even though I didn't benefit from the points, I love the fact there's a player like that who can do that kind of thing. Who not everybody's got him, and he's not a penalty taker, so he's not like that fits into that template where everyone's got to have 7 or 8 penalty takers. And it gives us something else to think about. I mean, Semenyo scoring again, that's great that he's back into it. So,
this week was fun. I don't feel like every week's been fun.
No, of course. That's FPL. And FPL season's not going to have 38 weeks of fun. It's going to have 26 weeks of misery and 12 weeks of fun.
that is about right. Yeah, if you get a third of the season being fun, you've probably done quite well. I mean, Wood has been annoying. Like watching Wood score every week, and then we do these pods, we look at the stats, we think, okay, let's not buy him. He's not getting as many chances as we'd like, and just scoring every week. I mean, if you've got him and you're on the right side of it, you're like, oh, it's amazing. Everyone's not backing him, and I've got him, and all that. And if you haven't got him, you're like,
I'm not like that though. I'm not that bitter, really.
I am.
Well, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you. Is she taking the piss or what, Yelena here? Mark's been a ray of sunshine this week. Is she taking the piss? I can't tell. I can't tell with that.
Mark, you're many things, but I would not describe you as a ray of sunshine.
No, that's what I mean. She's taking the piss.
I think she might be, yeah.
I think I have. I think I
am.
No, I think I have been quite upbeat about that.
No, to be fair, you have been quite upbeat about the season. Yeah, I'm not always sure that I agree, but yeah, you have remained positive. I mean, yeah, it has been a very interesting season. I will give you that. I mean, the flick of the switch of Haaland, I don't think we'll ever see something like that again.
That's been great. Yeah,
like an 80% owned player who suddenly goes from scoring every week to not scoring at all, and for it to switch to another player who scores pretty much every week. I mean, that is.
And then we've had the Saka injury to break the template up a bit as well, which has disrupted things. Yep. I guess Salah's dominance has made it a little bit too dark.
Yeah, I mean, how dominant is Salah? I mean, Salah's he's behind Sarabia and then Kunku for XG and ability for 90 over the season.
Just 4 minutes.
0.91. Yeah, I mean that is. It's high, isn't it? But it's not like 40 goal involvements high at this stage of the season.
Palmer's dropped down, I think, in the last 6. What's he on there? Palmer's on 0.75. Go to the last 6 mids. I think he's lower now. No. Is that last 6? No, that's season again. You've got the same table in again.
You did these. You built this.
No, I did.
Don't you bring me into this.
These were looking up the links, the old links. So
I know how to fix it now.
Yeah. 0.66. So he's gone down a bit, but he's still 7th. He's still strong. Salah 1.28. So he's gone up over his season average over the last 6, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's so she's being genuine.
I know. I was joking. I'm yeah. I think I have been positive about the season. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like last week when all the penalties came in, and João Pedro and Raul Jimenez and Mbeumo. I just think they're the safer, duller picks. But I like it when players like Semenyo and Diallo.
Well, it was ironic this week that we had Semenyo, Visser, Ahmad, all
exactly,
of the non-penalty taking,
like
Sarr getting the.
As long as it keeps doing that, and as long as it keeps being varied like that, I think a lot of last season it was like, well, yeah, you just get the template players in, and they remained quite dominant, and there wasn't anyone to kind of break through and disrupt that on a regular basis. Whereas this season, I think we've had 3 or 4, and Diallo will get a lot of people thinking now. They'll be like, oh, is that going to be a long-term thing? Do I downgrade Bruno? If you had Bruno, what would you do? I guess you'll go straight away. You downgrade him, would you? In terms of
I think you really should be looking at Bruno and thinking, are you going to get what you need out of an 8.4 million asset for that price when you've got Jota and Diaz with the double game week coming up. You've got Ahmad at far lower. You've got Gordon if you haven't got him. You've got Eze who's ticking along with points like quite nicely. A little bit more money can get you like Foden, who I know is sometimes a bit of a running joke on these things. But this is now 3 games in a row he's got points, and he's if you think City are going to turn it back up, I just can't see a place for Bruno like in sides. And I said this last week. I just think he's an annoying price, 8.4. He isn't the main man in that team. I think Diallo is in that side, and I'd be looking to get rid of him.
I think he is still the main man.
He's the main man in terms of don't get me wrong. He's the main man in terms of Manchester United, but not in terms of FPL. Diallo's clear. In terms of FPL points.
Not convinced yet.
No.
I mean, the only thing that worries me about Bruno is that when it's not going well, he wants to get on the ball, and that means coming deep and going everywhere, doesn't it? And then when it's going, you want United in full flow and him to be in the 10 behind the striker and getting into the box a lot. The trouble is United are very rarely in full flow, are they? So when they're struggling in a game, he tends to go, well, I'm going to come back and get the ball and instigate moves. He does still get forward, but he's coming deeper and starting things off. So that's not where you want him, is it?
I mean, obviously he has just had the hat trick. I did a article for Sportscasting earlier, and I was looking at FPL points since Ahmad started, right? So he basically broke into the team in game week 11. He's played most games since then. In that time, only Palmer, Isak, and Salah have more points than Diallo.
Yeah, but he's just had a hat trick.
Yeah, but it's not just a one-off game where he scored a hat trick. He's had multiple games where he's scored decent returns.
Yeah, but if you look at the last 6 here and you take that hat trick away, he's got 2 goals, 1 assist in 5 games. So it's not stellar, but it's good. It's okay. It's what you'd expect for a 5-5 perhaps. But then he's just gone and got the hat trick. So I guess that can change your mind about things, can't it? I mean, if you look at Jacob Murphy, he's 5-1 and he's got 7 returns in the last 6. No one's talking about him as the Messiah.
Well, some are, and Ed is.
Yeah.
Over the season, Diallo is.
He's not in the top 30.
He's not in the top 30. What for XGI? No. That's interesting.
No, so he's peaked massively. So yeah, I'm not sitting here now thinking.
So you're not thinking of moving for him.
If I downgrade Diaz, maybe, but I'm not going to do that before 24. I'm going to take Diaz into the double game week, aren't I? So after that, I'll have a look then. That'll give me enough time to think about where I want to go next.
It's not a great run for Man U either. I mean, it's Brighton. I think we beat them. Good. I'm still not that impressed with Man U.
Oh, they were terrible United before the first goal, weren't they?
Fulham, Palace, Spurs, Everton, Ipswich. I mean, it does get better from 25, but the next 3, Brighton, Fulham, Palace, I don't think you need to rush to go. I think from 25 you can, that's a really good time to bring him in. But yeah, he's probably not a must own right now.
No, I don't think so. And you've just missed. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to hold Diaz beyond 24. But the trouble is with Diaz, he has these peaks and troughs, doesn't he? Do you see his price has gone up and down like 9 times, 5 times up, 4 times down now, or something ridiculous. So he's been the most erratic in terms of price changes and form. this season. So I think the trick with Diaz is you just got to hold him and try and ride it out, and you'll get returns, but you'll also get probably early subs and benchings. But it's fine.
Yeah. Anyone else you want to talk about? Any other players? We've kind of skipped through.
Let's see if there's any more questions, shall we?
Let's come over to the chat. Fixtures fall off for Gordon, someone says. Yeah, I mean, Can
you bring up the long ticker, Az? Have a look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I have moved for Gordon early. Early in terms of like the
Where
week.
do they fall off?
not so much in terms of obviously way behind. I mean, they've got City, Forest, Liverpool, 25 to 27. Then they get pretty good again.
The thing is, going to the Etihad, City going to be scared stiff of Gordon and Isak, aren't they? You know, I think they hate the transition. They haven't really got the players to contend with it. I know they've made a sign-in that might fix that, but I would fancy Newcastle to score at the Etihad, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Forest,
yeah.
Forest at home, they're probably going to beat us. I mean, they played us at the City Ground. They're the best. They're the best team after Liverpool I've seen at the City Ground, and arguably they did a job on us better than Liverpool did. They beat us at our own game. They were stronger physically than us. Not many teams have done that, and they were really devastating on the break. So I think they can beat us at St James's Park. They're certainly going to score one there, I would have thought. And Liverpool away, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. But after that, the run's great, isn't it?
I guess it's a triple up though, isn't it? That a lot of people have got Isak, Gordon, and Hall.
Yeah, you just don't play Hall, do you?
Yeah,
but you play Gordon, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Review is pushing me to sell Gordon and get Mbeumo back, or Bruno, or someone like that. Definitely, but I'm not going to. Okay.
Yep. Harry's in the chat. FPL Harry. A few people were saying that we were talking about FPL Harry when we were mentioning the content creators who post. That wasn't actually who I meant. Not saying he's good for it, but he wasn't actually the worst one, the target number one.
No.
So you're off the hook.
Harry's right though about 29, because obviously Newcastle could end up blanking, highly likely to blank in 29, and that's the thinking behind getting rid of your Newcastle assets. So that's probably why Gordon is that threat, because Hall you can bench because it's a defender, obviously.
Yeah,
but we got to wait and see if they do go through. They probably will. They're 2-0 up, right? So
this is the thing. I do feel like I've made a fairly short-term transfer in Gordon, and then if I'm thinking of bringing Wood in as well, I feel like that also might be fairly short-term, because I might look to bring in someone like Gakpo or someone in 24.
Wood has got Ipswich in 29, so he's a good signing for that.
Yeah,
for holding.
It's not a great run though, is it? I mean, it's Fulham away, Newcastle away, Arsenal, Man City. You're holding him for those 4 games.
I mean, it is
Chris Wood. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I agree with you, but he's just scored at home to Liverpool. So why can't he have scored at home to Arsenal or City? He scored at home to City in the first season we came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you buy Wood, I think you're going to be... To sell him is going to be difficult, because we know that he is just... It's not going to be an easy sell, is it, at any point?
Well, personally, I've got Kuna on my mind, because I look at our whole Chris Wood, and then Kuna goes into Fulham, Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Ipswich. That one there of 5 looks really good. So I am going to lose Chris Wood probably.
Yeah, so you'd be getting off him around that time. I mean, you could even buy Kuna in 26, couldn't you? Because it's Bournemouth versus Newcastle.
Yeah, the issue is how many players I take into 29, because I don't really want a free hit then. I want a dead end in and then wild card in 30 maybe. So I've got to be making transfers after the double game week that set me up for 29. And it's Hall can be benched, but can Gordon? I don't know. Don't really want to sell Gordon, because then after
I know.
After 30, it's a good run.
You got him at 7 million as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so I've got significant loss.
Yeah. Harry says Thomas Morgan with the A. Very good. Super chat from Jaden. Thank you very much. Have yours final rank targets changed since game week 1? Interesting question.
I don't. Yeah, I mean 10k is always a target, isn't it? Always. So it still is for me. I think like we're in the realms of being able to get there, especially with the assistant manager chip.
Very good.
That is such a I mean that's going to have an effect, isn't it? There's no question. Did you see Rob T put out the top points possible with the assistant manager chip over the last 9 seasons.
Bloody hell, what analysis that is. Yeah.
And he showed that, the record in one game week is 41 points. Yes, it's a double game week, but we're definitely going to play the assistant manager chip in a double game week.
41, really? That seems
41 was the top.
That seems low.
In one game week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In one game.
Okay, wow, yeah. I thought that was over the 3 in 1 week.
So,
bloody hell.
Yeah, so I think it was Glasner who, in a double game week, got 21 and 20.
Well, that was last season when they beat West Ham 4-5-0, and then of course, because they were really low down at the time, weren't they?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, that is yeah.
So you can imagine if you end up getting 40 in one game in a double game week, and then you've got 2 more game weeks to come where you can use transfers to move the assistant manager chip.
Imagine if you had Eze, Mateta captain, and Glasner. It'd be like nearly 200 points in that way.
Well, we probably won't get that scenario, and a lot of the average that was in that top 100 was about 20 points, right? So you'd take that in any game, wouldn't you? And it was the top 100 of the last 9 seasons. So somebody somewhere will get lucky and get a really big haul from that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's hard sitting here now to know really what our ranks target should be, because you don't really know how powerful that chip's going to be for us, do we?
Depends where the double game weeks sit, I think, later in the season. Like if we do get a couple of interesting ones. I mean, Palace are being talked about, aren't they? Because I think 29 Newcastle Palace. So Palace are going to have a double game week between the end of the season. So could we see a repeat of that? Before the end? And they are the team that people are looking at, because again, they're quite low down. And are they going to have another lift? Yeah. Okay, so you're 191k in the world. You're saying 10k. You're still optimistic on
that? I've got to aim for that, haven't I? I mean, it's not. We're only just over halfway. So do you remember when I said to you, I looked back 2 seasons ago, and the black box approaching game week 21, I was 4 million in the world.
I know.
4 million.
That was the 1 point season, wasn't it? Managed to bloody claw that back.
Me by 1 point. I ended up in the second chance league coming 5k in the world or something, and I ended up 100k. Right, so that shows you that to go from 4 million to 100k in 19, 20 game week, 18 game weeks, anything's possible.
I mean, since I finally sold Haaland and got Salah, I've gone from 2.1 million to 587. And that's been about 7-8 weeks, I think, something like that.
Yeah, and with the chips, like, it's hard to know. I mean, my floor and ceiling, my floor probably is somewhere in the 10k. I'm not going to get any higher than that, I wouldn't have thought. My ceiling in terms of how bad can my rank get? Well, if everyone else gets lucky with chips and I don't, it could be like 3 or 4 million. So it's hard to know.
That's the wrong way around, I think. The ceiling's the good one. Right?
Yeah, the ceiling's a good one, yeah. Depends, doesn't it? But yeah.
My aims haven't changed. My aim was top 100k because I've had a couple of stinkers.
You should do that.
Yeah, I'm more optimistic about it now than I was. But we look back at that last super chat. It's so easy to get a red arrow. There's so many good players out there, and teams are quite different. And it only takes a Wood hat trick when you haven't got him, or even a clean sheet or something, and then you can go from a decent green to a fairly sizable red quite quickly. So can't really take anything for granted, and that's been the theme of the last few seasons.
I'm very relaxed though about these days. Like now.
You are, yeah. It's
I know what it is, but I just don't really care.
No, I know it's frustrating. It's in some ways it's nice because it kind of calms me as well, but in other ways it's frustrating because
I care more about am I enjoying the season than how well I'm doing sometimes. And last season, even though I came like, what did I come, 12k, something like that. I hated it.
Bottled the top 10k.
Yeah, bottled it. Yeah, but I absolutely hated last season. Didn't enjoy it at all. And yet, I had a really good season in terms of rank. Okay, you've got to say that in this day and age, 12k is probably the equivalent of about 4k about 10 years ago. So, yeah, but I just didn't enjoy it at all because it just felt, I don't know, just felt a bit. I felt having our way over the line kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like,
I think there was, I think with analytics as well, I think if you try and push against analytics too hard, like I think we both often sometimes do, try and be a bit different, that can hurt because then good players are doing well and you're trying to be different and you're getting punished for it. But also I think if you follow analytics too strongly and you don't feel like you're making your own decisions, you've lost that kind of agency, then again, I think that can harm your enjoyment from it.
It's not all that. It's not down to that. It's down to whether the season throws up events that play into that. And last season, it just so happened that I think it was a particularly strong one in terms of the models being accurate, because there wasn't, and the pool didn't really grow flex at all. It was like, well, there's 20 players that are going to be good, and those 20 players were the same 20 players that took us to the end. That's what it felt like. It probably wasn't that. It felt a lot more like that. Whereas this season, it feels like, yes, the pool is still small, 2025, but players are coming in and out of it and a bit more regularity. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, suddenly that 25 isn't the same 25 it was 3 weeks ago. Whereas last season, it was like, well, you could have listed it in game week 10, and then game week 38, it probably would have been much the same players. I don't think it's like that. It doesn't feel like that this season.
There definitely feels like there's more of like an ebb and flow this season in terms of like when you look at players like Semenyo, you look at players like Eze, you look at even like Jackson. I mean, he was so popular, wasn't he, going into that run, and now he's dipped. But I still think he's going to do quite. I mean, look at Mbeumo. Like, everyone was selling him at one point because they thought he was playing out wide, and then suddenly he's back and scoring goals. Everyone wants him again. Players like Kuna, like all the kind of stuff around him. Gordon was so poor at the start of the season. I think like 2 attacking returns in his first 9 games, and now he scored 8 in 9. Even players like Pedro. I mean, Pedro was so highly coveted and thought he was going to break the game, and he's been kind of in and out. Yeah, I do get it. It is an interesting season. I am enjoying it more than last year, I have to say. Last year was
I mean, I want to see Bowen come back under Potter and do things. I want to see Kuna come back and do things. You know, and if those two come back in and disrupt it again, that's really good, because I don't think, you know, a lot of managers have sold them and probably would be quite slow to go back to them, because, you know, there's other players in midfield that they're looking at. But if those two come in, midfield and up front, those two come back in, then that's adding 2 more back into the pool, isn't it? So yeah, I think they will. I really think Bowen will do well under Potter when he's fit.
Yeah. Should we look at some predictions?
Yeah.
Lovely. Before we do, just shout out to Sleeper. If you've been following BlackBox or lots of content creator streams, you'll know about Sleeper and probably a lot about the Pick'em game in terms of the Premier League and the Champions League. Not going to be talking about that. You can obviously join those. There's links in the description. But the app itself has gone through a bit of a transformation, the Sleeper app. They're trying to become more of a hub for all things football and transfer news and kind of a social place that you can talk about different things. I think at the start of the season, they missed that mark quite a lot. If you downloaded the app and you tried it, you know, there's a lot of NFL stuff on there. It was didn't really work, I don't think, for the Premier League or for like football fans. It's very different now. They've put a lot of time and energy into fixing it all up, so that it's now much more like relevant to the Premier League and kind of Spanish leagues and other things. And actually, you get footballing notifications. So, with all that in mind, give the QR code a zap. Check out Sleeper. Check out their different tabs. Join our Pick'em League, and yeah, let us know what you think, and let them know what you think, because they are trying to build the app out for, you know, the UK audience and what people want to see. So their feedback is your feedback is going to be really useful. Predictions. Ooh, what's happened to my little thing? Oh no.
Line up. Oh, yeah, there we go.
No, hang on. What's the content again? It could be anywhere. Whoa. It's that one.
You going to put it on Forest Southampton?
No. These are our predictions for this week. We'll talk about the league table in a bit, because it is hotting up, I think, in that, as well as me closing the gap a little bit in the FPL rankings. I think the predictions rankings are quite close too. We've gone pretty similar though this week. Newcastle, Bournemouth, 2-1 for me, 2-0 for you. Should be pretty comfortable, shouldn't it? I mean, Bournemouth did pop a fight against Chelsea, but...
I think defensively, Newcastle are strong. If you look at the last 6, I think they're second or third defensively. Shah's injured though, so maybe I should have rethought that. I've gone 2-0. Bournemouth have obviously got injuries up front. It's disrupted a bit. And I think Newcastle will just see this out. Professional job.
Yep. Brentford, Liverpool, and I do need a bit of a steer from you or anyone listening on this, because we've both gone for a Liverpool win. You've gone for 3-1, I've gone for 2-1. We've both gone for Brentford to score. I have to decide between Visser and Trent.
Trent all day. What are you thinking?
Trent
play
all
Trent.
day.
Of course you play Trent.
Even though we both think Brentford are going to score.
Yeah, because Trent can chip in at the other end.
I don't think it's as easy as that. You think it's as easy as just Trent? I've got on Visser at the moment.
I don't play Trent for I play Trent for what he can do at both ends of the pitch, and I value what he can do at the sharp end.
Oh, that is way more confident than I thought you were going to be. I thought that was quite a hard decision. You think Trent? Okay. I don't know. Let's see what the chat thinks. Let me know. Leicester Fulham, both gone for 2-1.
Yeah.
Easy one.
Yeah, I think Fulham will have too much for them. I think Leicester score. I think it's a decent game, but I do think Leicester will get the Fulham will get the points here.
Interesting game against West Ham, and you called that. You said West Ham would. I think you called them to win it, didn't you? Either a win or draw against Fulham. It was annoying because I looked at the score and I benched Robinson. And I thought, how good. Nice 3 goals to West Ham. 2 bloody assists. I know, crazy. Arsenal Villa. Obviously, we just got the Saliba news that he might be out. That's from a Forest fan, so you can blame Nottingham Forest if that isn't true. I've gone for a 2-1. I have gone for a Villa goal. You've gone for a nice, I wouldn't say comfortable, but a clean 1-0.
Yeah, I don't think Arsenal scoring many goals. This will be a tough game for them, but I think 1-0 will be enough against Villa.
Yep.
1 goal will be enough, rather. Yeah.
Garden Centre game, Everton Spurs.
I don't think it'd be pretty. I think you're right.
Yeah. I've gone for 2-1. So have you. I don't really have any interest in watching that.
Is it live? Is the Everton Spurs live instead of Forest then? Is that the live game?
Yeah. they always pick the worst game for the 2 o'clocks on a Sunday.
Well, it might be okay. I mean, so the choice they had was Palace, Brentford. No, I'm looking at the wrong week.
No, it's Everton Spurs, United Brighton, or Forest Southampton.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
United Brighton should be a good game. I think that's the wrong.
Yeah, that probably would have been the one. But yeah, Everton Spurs might be okay, but I think that Everton will try and shut it down, keep it really bitty, won't they? Against Spurs, they won't want them getting in any kind of pattern of play. It'd be tactical fouls and set pieces. I would have thought from Everton while Moyes settles.
Yeah, I mean, if Spurs lose that, they are in actual trouble. So I think that'd be 3 points between Everton and Spurs.
Can't see. I think Spurs will have too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
United Brighton. I said I was going to go for a Brighton win, and I have done 2-1 in that. You've gone for a draw. I had this as a 1-1, and then I watched it last night, and I just thought.
You watched what last night? United or Brighton?
Well, I was watching Brighton, and then I flicked over to the Man U game, and I've seen the extended highlights of Man U, and they're not right.
Southampton outplayed them, didn't they? For most of it. Yeah.
I think we'll dominate them. I think we're I don't know. It could go either way, couldn't it? Because I mean, it could be like the kind of game where they played against Liverpool and Arsenal and Man City, where they, haven't been able to dominate and they've done well on the counter. That could be how we get caught out. But I just think we're a better side than them at the moment.
Yeah, I think you are a better side than them at the moment. Yeah.
like a combination of players. We haven't got the individual players. But
I don't think you're in a great shape, though. I don't think you're playing brilliantly. There were spells against Ipswich where they got on top and they didn't have enough to punish you.
I mean, we've got no cutting edge at all. But neither of Man U. They're relying on
Welbeck start, you reckon?
Yeah,
He does well there, doesn't he? Normally,
I think he starts this one. I think he's come off the bench twice now. Yeah, he should start this. Forest Southampton. You've gone for a big old 3-0.
I think so.
You're getting carried away.
We're very confident, and I do think Elanga and Hudson-Odoi are just going to cause them a lot of problems. I just don't think their defence is going to stand up to it.
I mean, if they win 3-0 and Wood gets all 3,
I can't see that. Oh. But I mean, I almost think of them as almost being quite a perfect team to come to the City Ground because I don't know. I haven't seen them under the new manager. If they were under Martin, it would be absolutely perfect because they'll have lots of the ball and get caught on the break. And we'd love that. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to turn out. But against United, they did have a good portion of the ball and they did get forward. United really didn't have that much to hurt them until the last 20 minutes. And Diallo just came alive, didn't they?
Yeah.
But I think we'll be on them from the start. I think it's going to be very tough for them.
Yeah. Chelsea Wolves, seeing quite a few Palmer captains. We'll talk about captaincy when we look at our teams. You've gone for a Wolves draw in this one. I've gone for a 2-1. I think the honeymoon's over.
I thought Wolves were were unlucky at Newcastle in terms of not scoring. They had plenty of chances. Yes, it's bad finishing, but as soon Kuna came on, he's absolute class. I mean, he's just a different level. He came immediately. They looked really threatening. He'll start this game, and I don't think Chelsea are in a good place. I just don't. Against Bournemouth again, they're dropping points everywhere. There'll be expectation
on the.
There'll be expectation to win this game quite easily. So the home fans a bit. That's the other thing. It was so quiet.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Did you watch? I mean, the crowd just no atmosphere at all. So I think this will be another one like that where they just turn up and think, well, Chelsea are going to win this easy. And when Wolves put up a bit of a fight, I think it'll be anxious. So I think Wolves get something. Yeah.
And then finally, Ipswich, Man City. We've both gone for a Man City win. They're looking hard to come by at the moment.
Yeah, but I think ominously they're coming into form a bit.
Are they conceding 2 goals in the last couple of
minutes?
They're
conceding goals, yeah, but Ipswich can't. I don't know.
Ipswich can't score. If Ipswich will get 1 max, so they'd have to keep it bloody tight. I think.
They have tightened up, but I think Savio's in form, and I don't know. It may not be 3-1, but I think City will win out.
Yeah. Oh, Gianni, why did you sell Foden? That really hurt when I saw that. I know. Predictions, Danny, is what I was talking about earlier. So we're both on 50%. You're beating me by the margin of 5 points. You get 3 points for a correct score, 1 point for a correct outcome. There's 5 in it. So I'll
tell you what, suddenly 50% is a good outcome, isn't it? Because you look down the table, there's not that many with it. So we're doing all right.
We're doing well. I mean, there's about 30 people in this league, and you're what, 6th?
Yeah.
in terms of points, and I'm like
10th. No reason why one of us can't threaten for top spot by the end of the season.
Yeah, I know we're catching up to Hesmo and Hotine, who have been leading the whole time. Let's look at our teams. So this is me, how I'm set up. I've made 1 transfer already. So I've got Raya in goal with Gabriel, Hall and Robinson, who is, I think he's on like 8 assists or something this season, which is pretty wild when you think, what's Trent's record? About 14, 15, something like that. Might have his eye on it.
Yeah, I think it's 13, 14. Yeah.
Might have his eye on it. I've got Salah captain currently, which I think I'll probably stick with. Palmer, Gordon's coming for Sarr. I did that before the news about his maybe injury today, which there's a few people asking in the chat about Sarr.
Yeah, it's just a minor thing though, isn't it? I think he's got.
It is, but it doesn't sound great. I don't know. It's 50-50, isn't he? Whether he plays or not, and I think Gordon's a better asset than Sarr. I think Sarr's fine, but
with the turnaround, you think they'll probably rest it.
Yeah. Ahmad, my hero, is in as well. Isak, Solanke, and currently Vissa, and it's very split in the chat. Not everyone agrees with you about playing Trent. He's currently first on my bench. Lots of people saying Vissa more involved in the goals. Liverpool going to concede.
Liverpool will concede, but I don't know. I just think Liverpool will score 2 or 3 goals as well. And for me, that there's more.
Trent hasn't been involved in enough.
No, I agree with you. I know.
Well, but, my 2 big decisions.
United and Forest, aren't you? There's. He was awful against United, and then he was up against Forest, which is not going to be an easy game. So,
well, my 2 decisions are Vissa versus Trent, and then do I sell Solanke for Wood?
Not for free, right?
For free, yeah.
You're not going to save your transfers for the double game week, then? Where are you going to go for your 3rd Liverpool?
Well, I don't know if I even want one.
Suboptimal again, isn't it? Really?
I mean, it could be. It could be Gakpo. It could be. That's where I could do Solanke to Gakpo for the double. I could bring in Kanate, I guess. There's no one that really massively excites me from Liverpool because I don't really see them as double game week players. I think Diaz, Gakpo, Jota, they're all going to play. You'd think you'd be lucky to get 120 minutes from them. So, I don't know, I'm not massively feeling this double game week at all. I've said that before and it's been a complete nightmare. I just don't know. Solanke to Wood.
I don't know why people are so down on Liverpool. Like, let's not forget they got 6 at Spurs and 5 at West Ham.
I'm not down on them. I'm just down on the fact that forward line is just... Jota back doesn't exactly...
Well, Jota's got a...
he has, yeah.
which is probably worse than Slot is making out.
I mean, if Jota's out, then Gakpo or Diaz, no brainers.
Oh, Nunes could start at Brentford. It's not out of the question.
Yeah, Slot's been kind of talking him up, hasn't he? Saying his confidence isn't down and all that.
My point is though, like they got 6 at Spurs, 5 at West Ham. Yes, they slipped up against United, and they didn't score more than 1 goal at Forest, right? But I think it's just recency bias. People going, oh yeah, I don't need 3 Liverpool. I don't know. Brentford defensively are awful. I mean, if you look at Flecken's made the most saves in the league. So
could look at
he's faced the most shots this season, Flecken.
They're 15th over the season in terms of XG conceded on per 90.
Look how many shots they conceded. 17, 18 shots per game.
Yeah. And that's consistent over the last 6 as well.
Yeah. So concede 18 shots to Liverpool. They're going to concede a couple of goals at least, aren't they? I just think, I don't think there's a possibility Liverpool go there and win 3 or 4. But I just think people have just turned off Liverpool a little bit because of the last 2 games. But what I saw in the second half of the City Ground was a team that could go to Brentford and get 3 or 4 goals for me. So I wouldn't not play Trent, but there you go.
Because my other option is do Solanke to Gakpo now. Because they've got Brentford, which looks pretty good. Then it's Ipswich at home. Great fixture. And then it's a double.
I think I don't know. Like, I don't know how rotation's going to go.
Yeah. It gives a bit more time to assess it. Because then if Jota is out
the European game before Ipswich, right?
Yeah.
So you'll be able to look at the team that he picks in Europe and then play off that, right? Because if Nunes starts the European game, you can go Gakpo pretty safely, I would say.
Yeah. I
think you've got to use that European game in midweek as a kind of thing to learn from before you go Liverpool.
I think like Dave says, I think that is one of the things though that does make Slot good assistant manager a bit more. I mean, I'm undecided, but 2 Liverpool players and Slot is a pretty nice way to go. I don't hate it at all.
But 3 Liverpool players and the triple captain on Salah could easily do well as well.
Yeah, it's just who is that 3rd Liverpool player?
Yeah, granted. I mean, I'm going to hold Diaz. I'm probably not going to get more than 1 start and a 30-minute appearance. So I'm probably going to get around 100, 110 minutes. But what's he got? I think we said he was like 4th or 5th for minutes per point, wasn't he, this season? So I don't mind that at all. I'll take that. Not saying he will return, but I don't mind 110 minutes of Diaz, right, in a game week. That's going to be all right.
So just to confirm, you play Trent over Visser and you wouldn't do Solanke to Wood?
I wouldn't. No.
That's the complete opposite of what I was thinking of doing. So that's good.
Oh, well, don't go with me.
We don't.
You want to close the gap? Don't copy what I say.
The trouble is, if I get Wood, I'm just bringing another player that you own. So
yeah, but you can't think like that. I mean, I think that at times, but there comes a point where you can't. I think.
Yeah. This is your team then. Talk through it.
Flecken terrible, but I'll take the 3 points. He'll probably get. He'll either get 3 points, like 2 points and a save point, or Liverpool will go mad and he'll get 3 points. It'll be 2 save points probably. So I imagine it'll be 3 points. Trent, Gabriel, Hall, Timber, Gordon, Diaz, Salah, Palmer, Wood, and Isak. Bench order. I could put Muniz first. I could play Munoz, and not play Timber maybe. But I think I do back Arsenal for the clean sheet. I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. My transfer was, as I say, Jesus to Wood, and then next week I either hold Flecken because he goes to City, and then move to Pickford in 24, which is probably what I'll do. I'll probably roll next week. But yeah,
unless you have a more major issue with Diaz.
Yeah, I mean, there's the midweek European game, so we'll see whether he starts this one. I think he'll probably be benched in this one. I wouldn't be surprised if Nunes starts and Diaz comes on with like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so that's fine. Then it's all about the midweek game. If Diaz starts midweek, then I might have to sell going into Ipswich, because arguably moving Diaz to a more certain Liverpool starter for the Ipswich game and then taking that player into 24 is probably a better place. But I don't know. So it all depends on the European lineup, doesn't it?
Our teams are bloody similar, really, aren't they? I mean, looking at ways I can catch you. I mean, I've got Ahmad, you've got Diaz. I've got Solanke, you've got Wood. You've got Timber, I've got Robinson. That's literally it. The rest is pretty much
Yeah,
the
and
same.
you've got a better keeper than me, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the better keeper, but you've got a chip. You've got an extra chip on me.
Yeah, because you've used a triple captain, right?
I've used a triple captain. Yeah, I don't know. I need more. I need more differentiation, but it's hard to know exactly where to go. A couple more super chats before we finish, and we've got like 1,400 people watching live on this Friday night.
1,400.
1,400. Yeah.
Oh God! I'd have bought my A game if I'd known that many
So
watching.
thank
I've been sitting here like it's just a brief.
Thank you all for tuning in.
I apologise to the 1,400 for my subpar performance. I had no idea we had that many watching.
Kept them here, so I think it's fine. Couple more super chats. Jim says, "What do you think about the assistant manager chip?" I think it's clunky and inelegant. What a word. And potentially ruined the game. I mean, we talked about it, haven't we, on previous pods? I don't think we need to go too much into it again. My main point, like I said last week, was I think the biggest problem with it is it takes the game away from picking players and picking team results. Was a mistake. I think
it's a good concept.
Yeah,
and I think as a game in itself, it's good. I think it's a good bit of design.
I think it's a good concept, but not an FPL one potentially.
No.
And
it's all about players, and that's what we want it to be. We don't want it to be about picking teams and how many points that team will get. That seems like a too jarring. So in my opinion.
And I think the inelegance comes from the fact that it's a hard chip to explain. Like if you're trying to explain it to someone who doesn't really play FPL and things, it's clunky in the sense that having to explain the different things around the points, difference in the table and all things like that, and how in double game week it sets at the start of the week and then it changes based on each week. I mean, things like that. I do get it. It's not perfect, but I think the ideas behind it are decent. It's just not really what the game needs.
I mean, FPL should be simple to play, hard to master.
Yes. Yeah,
and that chip isn't simple to play.
I agree with that. Simon, good to see you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Evening chaps, good to see you back on a Friday night. Yeah, it's been a while since we did a Friday night stream. Hope you're both well. Odds on for a Forest title win. I'll walk to Mark's house from London for charity.
No, we won't win the title. No. Liverpool, the champions elect. I saw enough the other night, and I don't think Arsenal and Chelsea will close the gap. I think that Arsenal, they beat Spurs. I think it's a little bit of a false dawn, and it depends what they do in the window. But I just don't think Arsenal.
The only thing with Liverpool is I cannot believe this contract situation of Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent is still rumbling on.
I can't believe it's like that. I can't believe it's not sorted.
I can't believe it's not sorted.
I agree with you, but I think Van Dijk and Salah are staying. I don't know about Trent, I must admit. Yeah.
I mean, you never. You talk about Nottingham Forest getting injury, but if Salah was to get injured, if Van Dijk was to get injured, it could. There could.
What do you mean?
Your boy. there could still be a twist in the. I think it would take a pretty dramatic sequence of things to happen for Forest to really challenge. But
Saka's injury was such a cruel blow to Arsenal. I mean, I thought that they'd be okay because they were okay without Odegaard, but Saka's loss is just feels so big, doesn't it? When you watch them now, it's like they have to stretch every sinew to break a team down now without Saka. It's really hard for Arsenal to win a game, it seems, against a low block.
And when they haven't got a clinical centre forward as well, and they're not creating as many chances as they were with Saka, they have to put away the chances they get, and they're just not.
And they're not. No, and Saka was becoming a regular and reliable source of goals, not just a supplier. When they beat us 3-0, it was all about. I mean, Saka was a big part of that. If we played Arsenal tomorrow, they wouldn't beat us 3-0.
No.
And I think that's what other teams feel as well. They go there thinking we've got a chance here, low block, keep them out, frustrate them, get 1-0 up, and we can maybe hold on to it because Arsenal don't look like scoring 2 or 3 goals now.
I mean, it's in ways it's fair enough, isn't it? I mean, Chelsea, if you took Palmer out, if you took you take Haaland out of Man City, you take Wood out of Forest. Every top team has one player
Yeah.
which they're doing. And, Arsenal have had Odegaard out as well. And I think the fact they're still in and around the title race is a credit to
Yeah, I mean,
Arteta.
I hope they push Liverpool.
Yeah.
I actually think the team most likely to push Liverpool are Newcastle.
Yeah.
I really do, because I do think that they're very similar to Forest, and they've got a way of playing. They're very strong physically, but they've got, while we've got Chris Wood, who's great and love him, Isak is another level.
They've got the best midfield in the league, Newcastle.
A very strong midfield.
And they've got the best striker in Europe.
Yes, probably. And their defence, it's a shame about Shah. He's got injured now, but if they get Shah and Botman both fit, their defence is very strong.
Two of the most promising fullbacks probably in Europe.
Oh yeah,
as well.
Their fullbacks are
Gordon
good as well.
is in the form of his life. It's I agree. It's
if
hard
Liverpool slip up, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Newcastle get closest.
Yeah. Not often I agree with you, but in this case, I think I do.
And I like to see that. A season where Forest, Newcastle, even like Bournemouth and Fulham have been in the conversation for Europe, then it's great.
Then Andrew Bournemouth will do Newcastle. So what do you say to that?
Well, Bournemouth can't be underestimated. They're a good side, yeah.
Yep. Great stuff. I think that is us for the night. Tomorrow I'm going to a FPL meetup type thing in London.
Oh, are you?
I am. So
where's that then?
London Bridge. Belushi's, if anyone's around the London Bridge area, come say hi. In Belushi's.
That's where we went before for the
and you forgot your ID.
And they wouldn't let me in because of my ID. And then I was like, who I am? And they went,
I was like, look, he's clearly over 21.
I don't believe that.
He's clearly over 21 and he's not going to cause any trouble, is he? Look at him.
No, poor man.
And then you went in and smashed a load of glasses and caused a ruckus.
It's fine.
Is
that an official FPL meets, is it?
No, it's not a meets or a fest or anything like that. It's just there's a group chat that we're in, and if anyone fancies coming along, why not come down and say hi to everyone.
Yeah.
I haven't organised it, so I'm probably going to have to load of WhatsApp messages being like,
also, be good then, will it? In that case,
exactly. Yeah, I haven't organised it. That's another bonus.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So Mark, we'll be back next week, I imagine, ahead of game week 23. 23? We're going
23. Yep. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, we will be back, and hopefully with more green arrows and regular show, of course, as well. So. Yep.
If you have enjoyed this podcast and you're listening on Spotify or whatever, drop us a review. If you're enjoying this on YouTube, do drop us a comment and give us a like, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And Mark and I will see you next week.
Good night from me.
Good night all.